the WGLNA is heating up in here because of these great matches. Of course, we're going to move over into our second match in a little bit now. It's going to be SIMP Maine versus the Cunninghams. Of course, joined alongside with me is Randall Rootkill Holcomb. I told you, man, it's heating up in here.
It is so hot.
Goodness gracious. You know, it's getting good, though.
It is getting good.
Week number 3, ladies and gentlemen, is where we're at right now. Already 2 weeks of fantastic play. And SIMP Maine is sitting 5-0 guaranteed a spot in Las Vegas. If you're SIMP at this point, which, of course, you used to be SIMP, do you go, all the way? Do you try to get that, 7-0 record, or do you just say YOLO, swag?
No, 7-0. 7-0 all the way. Don't let anybody have anything on you. You have to keep up a reputation as a top team, and you can't go around losing. So SIMP the pressure is on for SIMP to keep up their lead. And the thing is, they have to deny everyone else that victory that they have so far been able to keep.
And, we've seen them just play fantastically. And also, I did a little statistics, guys. The MAC-G effect is true. Of all wins from SIMP Maine, MAC has normally died about 2/3 of the way into the match. For all the times they've lost, MAC has lived the entire time.
Wow. That is interesting to note. I mean, the only possible explanation is that the MAC attack works. MAC dies, victory. Right there.
That's right. That's right. So on average, it's better for MAC to die than to win. Cunninghams, though, this is a team that qualified to be in the WGLNA. They definitely have said they deserve it. I mean, I can definitely see through their performance, they've really made a statement for themselves. They're sitting at 3-2 in the league, so it's pretty respectable. What do they need to do to beat a team like SIMP?
To beat a team like SIMP, you have to bring a special kind of game. I mean, you cannot play the age-old conventional 742 format where you sit there and you slow play the whole match. SIMP and Fulcrum, such veteran teams are expert at the slow play, and they will probably beat, I say, every other team in the league when it comes to that kind of slow play.
And based on what we've seen of Cunninghams, do you think they play that slow style of play, that conventionalness?
I don't think they can play it better than SIMP. I think SIMP in the slow play will win. All of these teams are capable of playing slower. We've seen teams like what we just saw, Simple Tankers, played it slow. They didn't slow play it, but we did see Refuse to Die tried to slow play. Unfortunately, we're not able to get that lead that they needed, not able to see those opportunities, find the weaknesses in their opponents. I feel like Cunningham's probably won't be able to do that as well as SIMP will. So I think what they have to do is they have to play aggressive and they have to play differently, something strange.
Of course, I want to talk about this a little bit more with Frodan. Frodan is an analyst for today. He's joined along. Oh my God, I can't talk today. He's joined alongside both of us over in the analysis chair where he is telestrating, of course. Frodan, what are your thoughts on SIMP Maine versus Cunningham?
Well, at first, I do have to tip my hat to SIMP. A lot of people have been saying they looked a little bit weak in a couple of their losses. But so can be the same said about Fulcrum, who dropped a couple maps here and there. In the end, SIMP look as strong as ever, and I have to kind of point at one person who's been responsible for a lot of their damage, which is Heavy 20. Heavy 20 has been looking like a superstar, and a lot of people around the league have been saying this guy is probably the most individual skilled player in WGL, or at least he gets the opportunity to shine. So maybe someone's better, but maybe everyone on Fulcrum is so good they don't need to heavy carry the rest of the team.
Yeah,
Rodham is saying silent demise, but no, Heavy 20, he's my boy. He's the guy I'm hyping. I think he's probably the most individually skilled player in WGL after watching his play and even reading his stats. This guy is absolutely sick.
He has like a 2,700 WN7 rating or something ridiculous
yeah,
like that?
I have to agree.
Average.
Knowing I know Heavy 20, and he is a freaking beast at the IS3, at the 5100, at just about anything you put him in. Heavy 20 rocks at tanks.
And on top of that, think about it this way: if it's an average 2,700, that means that you're actually performing way above that. That means you're the extreme outlier of outliers. So obviously, Heavy 20 is definitely one of those teammates that you do not want to be losing. Of course, SIMP has been just doing so well, rallying behind all of the, I would say, leaders of that team, especially MAC-G, which I have to point out a little bit. MAC-G has been fantastic. I've gotten a chance to talk to him a lot. He came to the studio, and he was saying, like, yeah, this is how our team works, where we understand each other a lot, and we've been together long enough to really not have to talk so much to each other to know exactly what each other are doing.
Yeah, but don't forget, communication is important on a team.
Yeah.
And even when I was on SIMP, they weren't dead quiet. Every win, there was plenty of chatter going on, good communication, especially from the scouts. Scouts, their job is to communicate. And you have to keep talking, you have to keep communicating with your team if you're a scout player. And the difference between normal scouts and the best scouts isn't just that they can drive a light tank well, because anyone can drive a light tank. It's driving a light tank, being able to predict things, communicate with your team, and set up that great cover on your scouting, that kind of stuff. So I feel like that's what might separate some tankers. Like Crimson Corsair is a player who's coming out as a very good T1 player for SIMP.
To just update you guys with what's going on with this match, it's already started. The first battle has already
No, actually, they finished.
Oh, it finished.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it already finished. And SIMP was able to take battle number 1 on steps, so excuse me. It was going on as we were talking,
Yeah.
of course. Then it finally wrapped up. We're going to move over into battle number 2. I believe it's going to be on Ensk.
You are correct. I see Ensk here, and timer has started for him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So while Frodan prepares that a little bit on the telestrator, we want to know exactly how these two teams played out. Now, we've seen Team SIMP and we've seen Cunninghams played out. Cunninghams have kind of been very defensive on Ensk. That's what we've seen so far. They've been punished. Nerve was one of the teams that just absolutely crushed them with a one-line push. SIMP, I feel like they're not really going to do a thing like that.
Remember the Nerve thing where they went to the west? When they went to west, Nerve pushed into them?
Yes.
I feel like it looks like the south spawn will go to Cunninghams. So SIMP is on the north. They will not be able to take up that same position, use the Mac attack the same way.
But, you know, one of the things, when I'm analyzing Team SIMP main,
Yeah.
and I'm saying, okay, you know you're a much better team, but also I'm looking at your range, and you don't do those crazy things like, let's say, Nerve does. They don't go all out aggressive and just hope that their brawling is better. They play it more systematically. They try to gain those little advantages through, I guess, a defined way of an approach. And that is also their biggest weakness at the same time. Similar to Fulcrum. I know SIMP is a lot crazier than Fulcrum. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, they're not doing these crazy brawling strats. They're always doing these, oh, I'm going to have interesting positioning that you're not expecting.
Although we have seen some interesting brawls out of SIMP. I've been noticing Endo has repeatedly been shielding his battle buddies with his 5100. I'm just noticing him, like he shielded Heavy 20 in the game against Nerve. It was perfect. He saved his life against a T69, but ended up actually simping Heavy 20's shot on the T69. I should probably point out what simping means. It's when you're in SIMP, simping is to block an ally's potential shot. So if I ever use that term, I'm talking about that. I just realized I say that every once in a while. Probably should tell everyone.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Randall.
What does Fulcrum mean?
I know.
Oh.
What does Fulcrum mean?
There is no such thing as fulcruming.
What's Dodd
What
stand
is
for?
What is
Dodd
Dodd?
stand
Like Whiskey Dodd? It is Destroyer of Dance, because he is even better at dancing than I am.
All right, let's see how these two teams dance out on Ensk as we move into battle number 2. The dance of SIMP against Cunninghams. Over here we have two AMX 5100s. Oh, go back to that.
Sorry. There's damage being traded here. Blue Boy's captain taking a hit from King Kong right off the bat. Two T69s meeting at middle, one in C6, one in H6. It looks like King Kong has the better view range here, so he will get some free damage. But back to the lineup.
Two AMX 5100s, two IS-3s, a T69 over for the Cunninghams. An AMX 5100, two IS-3s, and two 69s. So the reload for SIMP is going to be much better. Of course, the DPM for the Cunninghams is going to be much better with that extra 5100 over the T69.
That is a huge hit. King Kong right here in the middle is going to get ammo racked. He does burn his kit on that ammo rack. This could be huge later in the game, especially if another crit comes out on King Kong. He's exposing his ammo rack here. His side armor, that is a great way to get ammo racks. Exposing your side at about this angle, you will get racked in a T69.
Yeah.
Keep your front at the enemy.
Be very careful of course, it's going to be a lot better just to aim everything at your opponent. So the hull is okay, but at that distance, maybe you can reduce the pen, especially that turret. You can actually bounce a lot of shots because it's just so angled. That's one of the big advantages for the T-69. Still, we have a east side and a west side, I guess, stake in the ground for both of these teams. Cunningham's going over the east side, which is the less conventional now that 8.6 has come out. And the west side, or excuse me, the west side is taken by Team SIMP.
Does get spotted, and he's going to trade with A. Martin. A. Martin going down to 69, but Biguk from way downtown gets the kill.
Sure.
Poor Mao.
So a T1 advantage out for the Cunninghams. Will we see some sort of screen cap? Right now, it's very interesting positioning. SIMP is kind of playing this passive-aggressive type of style where they are being aggressive in terms of positioning, but they are more so defensive with how they're trying to play out the map.
Yeah, no full dedications here. And it looks like, what heavy tank is this in the backfield? That is Militant. Big shots here. He is firing at Mac. Mac attempting to get his Mac attack off, but he is going to slip into cover, not wanting to waste himself as a T1. Even though he does want to die, he doesn't want to die for no good reason. He's going to try and get as much eyes as he can, maybe distract a shot for when that engagement happens with SIMP. They have taken the west, and I believe they are they're all the way to the south at this point. Actually, even stretching back to the north. Complete west side control next to the Cunninghams' east side control. This map will be in for the long haul.
That's right. 6 minutes 55 seconds left in this battle number 2. SIMP is up 1-0 after their win on steps. You know, I have to really wonder how efficient these players become once, I'm going to say, like, MacG dies, or it doesn't have to be MacG, anybody dies. You know, some sort of field commander, once they die, is it much easier for them to call the shots and prioritize some of the tanks? And I have to feel yes. And that might be game-changing, honestly.
Well,
if it ever went to a style like that.
You analyze the Mac attack. When Mac dies, SIMP wins more often. When he does not die, SIMP does not win. So
well, they still win,
but they don't win as often.
Correct.
Yes.
That's actually a true statement.
So
based on the WGLNA.
But at the same time, SIMP is a top-tier team. They drop very few matches, and of the matches they drop, those are the ones
MacG is staying alive.
Yeah. So there's actual proof to support the statement that when your field commander dies, it is so much easier. We've seen this on, I watch the Russians, I watch the EU. I see field commanders die in T1s all the time. And I feel like you see the performance of many teams just skyrocket after their field commander dies, because his ability to organize and control his team without the need to distract himself by trying to cap or anything else.
Or just switching over even, right?
Yeah.
Switching over from tank to tank. Because you're in dead mode, you can do that. You have almost a free cam. It's locked on your tanks, but you have kind of a free cam, which is really nice.
Yeah, and on top of that, you get to take a load off of the rest of your team.
Oh, Mac goes down. Not looking good for Cunninghams.
That is both. No, that is looking great for Cunninghams. That is not looking good for SIMP, because now SIMP...
No, not looking good for Cunninghams.
You're so right. I keep doing this.
You are
Everyone does this at least once.
Terribly wrong.
Ah, so wrong. It is over. SIMP is going to now take this, even though they have no eyes and a lack of control.
Well, we do have A. Martin and Biguk being screened by Silent Demise, Roddy's favorite person, but Silent Demise not covering well enough.
He is
down
down
goes
once.
Biguk.
And down goes Silent Demise.
And down goes A. Martin. Unreal. These shots are being snaked so well, and the crossfire is not enough. T-69 and the IS-3 being played by King Kong and Militant were not able to distract the SIMP members, and because of that, an 8-point advantage has been established by SIMP.
Yeah, and now Militant, along with, who is that? That is King Kong, are cut off from the rest of the team.
Yeah.
You have a complete split Cunninghams. SIMP, once they have realized it now, and they are going to collapse. Militant, not much of a hope for him. Very unfortunate as he wastes a shell. It misses or something.
That's right. This movement is so nice because it disables the two AMX 5100s behind them from really engaging against the main group of the army. Commander J and Taka are now going to start lining up shots, but guess what? They unload their entire clip. They still do not have enough damage to take out the entire SIMP team.
King Kong is down to 478. It looks like he is reloading. Heavy 20 is going to go down to 30, but Endo again is going to cover his battle buddy. Oh, Endo, you hero.
Now, King Kong, if he does reload in time, he can get a double kill.
Should be reloaded now.
Oh, Heavy 20 misses?
No, that is a track shot. So yes and no.
Yes and no, yeah, that's true. And King Kong, remember, he repairs pretty fast, but he doesn't have the ability to use his kit. But still, he's able to get out here. Heavy 20, he has a shot lined up, and remember, one shot from either of these tanks will kill them. But Endo is going to come in from behind. Can he get a shot? One shot from him kills him, too.
But on the other side, Taka is under fire. Crimson Corsair is reloading, and Taka goes down to 35. Ah, we missed the...
King Kong dies, and Taka, guess what? You are next on the list. That's going to do it. Cunninghams will lose all 7 tanks, giving SIMP the big win. 2-0 in the second match of the WGLNA. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the WGLNA. It is week number 3, day number 9 of the group stages over here. My name is Andre Graytor Pangshua. I am your host. Joined alongside me is Randall Rukeel Holcomb, my co-host, who is ready and willing to talk about the detailed report of that last battle.
Yeah, so I was interested to see the damage. So if we go into my screen real quick, we will see some amazing damage out of T-69 Crimson Corsair. He did 2,639 damage in that T-69. That is some amazing play. Both of the T-69s out of SIMP doing the most damage for their team. Now I'm going to take a look at how many hits. Missed once. That is it for Crimson Corsair. Fantastic marksmanship right there. Blue Boys, unfortunately, did not do as much damage because he missed a number of shots. I don't know what he was shooting at. Looks like he bounced. I did notice a few more bounces than I was comfortable with out of both teams on IS-3s.
You also have to be careful with the IS-3 because, well, when we look at the IS-3s, because I know a lot of the SIMP guys were actually shooting the walls. Shooting the walls to defend their cap after they lost the 2T1. So those statistics are a little bit skewed.
So Blue Boys was taking it on the wall, probably
Correct.
using his autoloader to quickly take down as many little pieces of wall as possible. On the other side, though, Commander J did make a good showing for his own team. Missing once out of his 6 shells, he only got to get off 1 full load. That is very unfortunate. And we see how the IS-3 Militant barely got any damage out. No one else really getting much done. Unfortunately, King Kong fired many times, missed far too much. He probably could have done something with this match.
Well, that was in the beginning stage as well. Those are skewed because he was shooting cross-map.
And he was shooting over at Blue Boy's captain.
Yes. That being said, let's go ahead and take a look at what Frodan had to say about that last battle.
I have 2 things I want to say. The first thing is this guy. This guy. Leave him alone. Leave Mac G alone. N-O. No.
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 Or on. I'm not sure. I'm dyslexic.
The second thing is these guys. These guys, they were like, you know what? We'll be right there. BRT. But these guys, meanwhile, were getting completely shot by the Red Army. I was going to use white. They just kept getting shots all the entire time. And meanwhile, we have Commander J and crew. They were not able to do anything. That was just a complete disorganization of the Cunninghams. And I have to say that King Kong and Militant, they needed to be in position a little bit better. They were kind of too distracted by Mac G, which is exactly what SIMP wanted. The sack of Mac is in full effect.
Is that why SIMP's so good? They're the Red Army?
Yeah.
Part of the Russian?
Quite possibly. I think we were onto something there.
Oh my goodness, guys. Oh my goodness.
But that's pretty much all there is to it.
Well,
I think Cunninghams was just too split up.
2-0 up for SIMP at this point. Cunninghams need to take 3 battles in a row. The next map will be Prokhorovka. And it's going to be very difficult for Cunninghams to come back. What do they need to do on this map?
This is an open map, and I feel like this is maybe a place where they could do something. I've seen Blue Boys for SIMP come out as a strong scout. They're going to have to kill him early if he is going to be in a scout tank. Yeah, it looks like he's actually going to be in a 1390 in this battle. If they can take out Blue, maybe they can take out some vision, take out those T1s, get the control.
Yeah.
That could do it. All they need is 8 points.
And don't kill Mac G. Ladies and gentlemen, battle number 3 between SIMP and Cunninghams right now. Randall, let's take a look at the tanks right now.
For SIMP, we see 3 T-69s and 2 1390s, whereas for the Cunninghams, you have 3 T-69s and 2 1390s. Mirror lineup here. It's all going to come down to the skill and positioning of these teams. These tanks mirror.
They're
that
going
means
Prokhorovka, or excuse me, Prokhorovka.
Not quite. Not quite. They're just going to roll up to the middle. There's
Okay.
no arty for either side, so no one to punish you for being out in the open without any
Oh,
bush
Commander
cover.
J, need to be careful! And he's going to go over that ridge trying to duck behind cover, but Endo
Hot
is going
pursuit.
to trace him down. Oh, gets tracked. Nope.
No, that was
Just
not a
stop.
track that hit
Just
his
stop.
that is commander's hatch and
Yeah.
took out his optics. That will hurt him if he attempts to spot later in the game without repairing that.
And Milton is down there in that T-69, needs to be careful, but Endo will cross the tracks,
push.
just making sure that he's with the rest of his team.
Yeah, and-
Moadib in his T1 is going to approach. It looks like there's a big push coming out from SIMP. They know they're 2-0 up. They're saying, hey, let's just go for it. We have nothing to lose here.
And Blue Boys,
Oh!
great shots out of Crimson Corsair in the backfield here over at mid. Shots going out, and there's map control for SIMP. They have 8-point lead right now. That was what Cunninghams needed to bring this back, and it looks like Militant and King Kong are just going to cross straight over.
Oh, no.
Cunningham, man, don't do this. This is not the wisest choice. You're walking into a field of fire.
King Kong goes down, and Militant is left alone in his T-69. Of course, Taka is on the other side of the train tracks, but it isn't going to matter. Battle buddies are not together. Guess what? You're going to be isolated, and you're going to be taken out. Taka will go down. That is a gigantic advantage for Team SIMP. 24 tier points ahead. The check mark is there. Red base is being captured.
But there's still a chance. They haven't killed Mac. That means the chances that SIMP will throw this battle and all of them drown in the water
I don't know.
is, oh man, Biguk, it was your chance, man, to not kill Mac, and you've done it. You've succeeded. There's a chance here. 28 seconds. Mac could kill himself, or Moadib could accidentally fire, destroying Mac, throwing this match.
He could throw
I'm saying it. It's
He could throw
possible.
the match.
I mean, the stats don't lie, right?
The stats don't lie.
This could skew them.
A single AMX 1390 is left, and well, he's keeping MacG alive, but it doesn't look like it matters. Cannot believe it. SIMP able to win it without losing MacG. Congratulations to them. They are 6-0.